The Mandalorian Season 2 finale is some of the best Star Wars in years. Before we go any further, just a heads up, this video will contain spoilers for The Mandalorian Chapter 16. And if you haven't seen it, please go and watch it before you watch this, because there's so much that I wouldn't want spoiled. Man, the season finale hit so well in so many ways. There's only one moment in all of Star Wars that's ever brought me to tears. You guys know that scene where Anakin and Padme look out at each other across Coruscant in Revenge of the Sith? Anakin's final moments before he turns. This always gets me. But now there's another moment, and I'm gonna get straight to it. When Din Djarin took off his helmet and you could see he was already beginning to tear up, looking at Baby Yoda, looking at the child, looking at his child. This got me. He knows he has to say goodbye to what I'd call his son. And can you imagine if this was the first time we ever got to see Pedro Pascal's face? Like they held off until this moment, how much more powerful it would have been. More powerful than this already was. But I mean, obviously this is the first time Mando decided himself to show his face to another living thing. IG-11 of course removed his helmet in Chapter 8 and saw his face. And I wouldn't say Chapter 15 counts because it wasn't really his decision to be seen. Here, Baby Yoda is the first living thing Din Djarin decided should see his face. And it got me all emotional. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Today I just kind of want to talk a bit about the finale, share some opinions, share some thoughts about where this is going and what it's going to evolve into. Now, that said, as incredible as it was having Luke return and having Mark Hamill play a younger Luke, we need to talk about the face. From a distance, it looked believable, kind of. And at first I thought they were going to stay on the wide shot, but no, they decided to go in close. And for me, this is when the illusion wore off, especially when cutting between Pedro Pascal's face, which looks sharp and in focus, to a young CGI Mark Hamill, which is a lot softer and slightly out of focus. Kind of ruined the illusion. I really love that Star Wars are leading the way in this kind of face CGI technology, apart from all the deepfakes on YouTube, I guess. But I can't wait for another 10, 20 years when the technology's better and this looks more believable. I mean, it looked real, but not quite real enough, if you know what I mean. And I'm really not trying to say they should have used it. I love that Luke showed up and is in the show. It's incredible. And the moment I saw the single X-Wing just flying in, I was excited as everyone else. It's not Cal Kestis, damn it. It was just a bit hard going from seeing this face to this beautiful heartfelt moment between Mando and Baby Yoda and then back again to Luke's face. This moment took me right in, got me all emotional, made me, forget the face, and then we're back here and suddenly things feel a little goofier even though the show had just brought me to tears. And I feel like this technology's evolved a bit since we first saw Tarkin in Rogue One back in 2016. When you watch his face, it does definitely look more like CGI, whereas Luke's I think is somewhere in between. But what was up with his mouth? Did anyone else notice that? Like the mouth hardly moved? Watching this scene back again, I feel Tarkin's mouth is animated much more than Luke's. Anyway, hopefully we'll get a Mandalorian remaster in 10 years or so and they'll touch this up. Luke becomes such a mysterious character after Return of the Jedi. In Star Wars canon, so little I think has been shown of where he was and what he was up to rebuilding his own Jedi Academy. We got the brief interaction with Del Meeko in Battlefront 2, which takes place pretty much immediately after Return of the Jedi. And I thought this scene was written really well, probably the best cutscene in that entire story. And we see him a bit older in the flashbacks in The Last Jedi, but Luke showing up here and saving the day, the first thing Din asks is if he's a Jedi.
Are you a Jedi?
It's funny, he's like, no, I'm not a Jedi. I've just gone through the hallways tearing all these people up. At this point in the timeline, the Jedi are such a mysterious, rare breed to come across, which is part of what made this so special. He shows up alone in an X-Wing, a one-manned craft. What's one man gonna do? Of course R2 was there though. We get the slow tease of who he is. First we see him only on the black and white screen, on the security cameras, and then we see the green lightsaber, that narrows it down, and then we see Luke's lightsaber hilt, and your theory is true. It is Luke. But now I really want to know how he got from here to here. This is Return of the Jedi Luke, and this I still am not sure. And let's face it, what would have happened if Luke didn't show up? It would have pretty much been screwed, right? They didn't stand a chance against an army of dark troopers. I didn't get why Mando didn't warn everyone that blasters don't seem to work on the dark troopers also. Like he shoots the one he fights and the blasts bounce right off. And then they're all standing there, blasters at the ready. Like like they stand a chance. I guess what else are they going to do though, right? Now, of course, like any season final, this episode leaves so many questions unanswered. What's going to happen to Baby Yoda? What's the Mando up to next? Where will he go? Will he rule Mandalore? Will Bo-Katan attempt to take the Darksaber back? One thing I loved about this episode was Moff Gideon, the villain, the classic villain who feels the need to explain everything and reveal his diabolical plans. There was one really good laugh I thought Giancarlo Esposito nailed. Sounded Palpatine-esque. But the scene where Gideon speaks to Din felt like it could have gone two ways, like almost as if the writers were deciding which way to take it. I would have loved to have seen Gideon let the Mando take Baby Yoda because, as Gideon says, he already got what he wanted, the blood and the Darksaber. And this kind of brings up those questions about morality we saw in the last episode with Bill Burr's character. Whose side is everyone really on, and can you stand somewhere in between? If he decided to just let the Mando go and then try escape himself, only to be thwarted when getting in a TIE or a shuttle, or perhaps he could have escaped and Bo-Katan's hunt for the Darksaber would continue. But of course, he had other plans and just sticks to being a villain and tries to kill the Mando. Okay, and let's say, what happens if he won the fight? What would have he done then? His entire ship has been overrun. Sure, the Dark Troopers are coming back eventually, but do you think he would have just jumped in a ship and taken off, or regrouped with the Dark Troopers and stayed to fight? The tension as soon as it cut to this scene though, with Bo-Katan standing there, Mando walks in holding the Darksaber. For a few seconds, it felt like things were about to go down. We're going to see allies turn on each other. Sure, he's holding it out to her, telling her to just take it, but she's not going to accept, and that's something I think we'll see more of next season. I don't think Din Djarin has any desire to rule Mandalore, but now that his son has gone off to Jedi school, what's his purpose? What drives him? He needs new motive and a new character direction, and perhaps that'll have something to do with his roots and the other Mandalorians. What's his purpose in this? Did you guys notice the music in this episode? Everything was a slight variation of the series' usual music, but everything felt and sounded heavier, like there was more weight to it. Pacing was changed, and this set a tense tone for this episode, like the stakes were raised, and now we're at the business end. I loved this. Boba Fett in this episode as well. So good, right? Perfect portrayal of the character. I love the tension between Boba and the Mandalorians. They don't get along. They call him out on not being a Mando and he stands his ground. And when they realize he's a clone, it's such a good callback. Brings decades of Star Wars history back into this one scene. And I love that they can do that now. I love seeing this show reference other parts of the universe and the galaxy and this expanding story.
You are not a Mandalorian.
Never said I was.
Also incredible seeing Slave 1 in action, seeing the blasters capable of firing backwards. And I'm not sure if some people might have missed this, but after the credits there's another scene with Boba announcing a new Star Wars show, The Book of Boba Fett. I really didn't see him coming back to Tatooine to start running the Hutt cartel. I mean, what's his motivation for doing this? Why would he want to take over this operation? Is he just after power? I thought he was just a simple man making his way through the galaxy. But I might explore why he's here in another video, along with what will happen to Baby Yoda, what he's going to get up to. But what did you guys think of this? What did you think will happen to Baby Yoda? Is it the perfect ending to the season? What's going to happen to the Mando? What are they all going to get up to? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And yes, I have started posting my Jar Jar tweets. If you don't understand what that means, you can watch this video here. Come see my shame. And you can come follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and join my Discord to see the Jar Jar tweets. Oh boy. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.